This collective has always felt a little bit outcast. Even if you've been sort of in the in crowd, you have a very strong theme and pattern here of always feeling a little bit like the odd man out, like it's hard for you to kind of assimilate, or hard for you to maybe just feel a part of a group that is very true to you. And I think there's a very strong theme here of feeling super disconnected from the energy of family. So it's no surprise that I'm wearing my wolf shirt, because this is definitely my one-man wolf pack kind of people, my lone wolves. You may literally identify as being a little bit of a loner, but I think this is also just a collective of people who have had plenty of people around them, and have maybe even been a part of a large friend group or a big family, and have always just felt like, perhaps loved but not seen, and perhaps a part of something but incredibly disconnected. I think it's been really hard for you to feel genuinely understood, and like you're a part of a real family for you, which I think the meaning of that is to feel seen and understood. And I think, something that comes through really strongly here is people really study you. I think you always come through as being a little bit elusive, a little hard to read, a little hard to pin down. And so this makes people genuinely very interested in you. And it might feel like people are a little too nosy about you and your life, and I think you may take that often as criticism and judgment. I do think you've had a fair share of that in your lifetime, and being this, very different energy that you are. I think also people are a little just like fascinated with you, and fascinated by what you do. And because you're so hard to read, it's like they're always kind of trying to gauge what you're feeling, and if you're comfortable, or if you're angry, or if you like them. It's like people are heavily focused on your opinion. So even though you might feel at times insignificant, and like, your opinion doesn't matter, or your presence doesn't matter, or if I don't go, no one's gonna miss me, I think you really doubt your impact there. I think you really underestimate the effect that you have on people, and the power that you have over people. I think there's a power that you haven't even fully tapped into yet. You're still learning this, but I think you've always sort of known, like, I do bring a strong reaction out of people, or people do have a tendency to think I don't like them, or I'm uncomfortable, when really, like, I don't feel connected kind of vibe. This is definitely the black sheep community here. Definitely the people who, again, just feel a little weird, a little different, a little misunderstood. I think, yeah, you're on a very, very specific path, and I think people feel that about you. They know that about you, and I think, on some level, they tend to underestimate your abilities. Maybe right now there's something you are building, something you're creating, something you're learning, and there seems to be a large fascination around what it is that you're doing. It's almost like surprising people a little bit. This could also just, pertain to the career that you've chosen, or, the life that you've decided to live. It's almost like, wait, that's what you're doing? Like, I would have never guessed that. You really keep people on their toes. But yeah, I tapped into this collective, and I'm like, of course I'm wearing my freaking wolf shirt. You guys are my little lone wolves, But I really feel you, and I understand you. And it's, what's that quote that they say? Like, you could be in a group of people and still feel alone. And I think there's an emptiness, or kind of a void that a large group of you might really feel in your soul, because you do feel very disconnected from people, and I don't think that's anything you've done wrong. I think it's It's more just the fact that you are different, and there needs to be more celebration around that and more acceptance around that. And I think the right people let you know that you are very special, and the wrong people are naturally deterred away.